Hey everyone, welcome to 10-Minute Trends, the monthly video series where Megan and I will talk you through everything you need to know in advertising, media, marketing, branding, offer you our own insights and commentary, and we're going to try our best to do that in about 10 minutes or less. I am Jackson Richards, VP of Strategy at Direct Agents. I'm joined by Megan Conahan, the EVP here at Direct Agents.
Hey everyone.
If you don't already subscribe to Megan's monthly marketing memo, her newsletter on LinkedIn, I highly recommend you do that. We are going to be pulling some of the topics from that for our monthly 10-minute trends video. And with that, let's jump right into it. In your monthly marketing memo this month, you talked a lot about retail media. And if you for the last decade, like digital media, particularly social media, ad spend and activity had just been up and up and up and up. And if you look at the first half of 2023, it's kind of been a mixed bag, but retail media seems to be really having its moment. So what's going on there?
Yeah, and like you said, if you've kept in touch with what's happening recently and saw a lot of the Q1 reports, you saw most of the big players are down or flat, 1% growth, 2% growth, something like that. The Googles and Metas, those types of organizations. But then when you look at companies like retail media companies like Amazon specifically, they saw 17% growth year over year, which is really impressive. And you can say that, yes, obviously it's coming from a different place, right? Google is more mature, Meta is more mature. And actually it was 21% growth. Getting my numbers confused already. They saw 21% growth. But I think the really interesting thing for retail media and Amazon specifically is that, yeah, it's coming from a smaller jumping off point, but it's set to take up 17% of share of digital ad spending this year alone. And I think Amazon's around 13% of that. So while it's growing, it's taking money away from Meta and Google and some of those other big players. Because if you look at some of the predictions that are put out by eMarketer and a bunch of other really amazing publications, Google share of dollars, Meta share of dollars, some of those other big platform share of dollars are going down, and retail media and Amazon specifically is just going up.
Yeah, people who've been close to ad buying and advertising over the last however many years, it was the duopoly of Facebook and Google, and Amazon has just kind of like incrementally every year going up and up and up.
Yep.
And retail media and Amazon have kind of been synonymous, but in the last few years, we've really seen a democratization of retail media across a lot of different offerings and retailers. And Amazon's still seeing tremendous growth, but a loss in market share, but just a huge category.
Yeah, and Amazon is still the 500-pound gorilla in the room, of course.
Right.
I'm not saying that they're not, but what's really interesting is some of the gains that other platforms have made. So like Jungle Scout recently came out with this new data that said actually Amazon is losing share to companies like Walmart, where people first start their searches. So I think it was last year, 63% of people started their searches on Amazon. This year it's in the mid-50s. But if you look at Walmart, about 30% of people used to start their search on Walmart, and now it's kind of in the mid-30s, 35, 36, 37. So again, different scale for sure. Yeah. But Walmart's done a really amazing job at user experience, shopper experience, merchant diversification. And what this says to me is that you can no longer, as a seller, just be on Amazon or just be so reliant on Amazon. You need to be diversifying into other marketplaces, Walmart. And if Walmart doesn't make sense for you, Target, Best Buy, it doesn't matter.
Kroger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just need to start really thinking about investing in these other marketplaces, both the large marketplaces and then the niche marketplaces. Because just like what's happening with TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram stealing market shares from Google because people are starting their searches on TikTok, the same thing's happening on Walmart, on Target. They're stealing that share away from Amazon. And you don't want to be the last one to realize that. So start making those investments, start making a bigger push into some of your other retail media channels for sure.
Yeah, and for brands, for so long that are looking to use, data and powerful algorithms to get in front of their customers, like at the moment or as close to that moment of purchase as possible, like Facebook, Meta and Google have really been the go-tos platforms of choice for marketers and advertisers. But now, with retail media, there's no better level of intent than being right at the checkout counter. So how do we see like Meta and Google competing with Amazon and Walmart and other retail media providers to kind of hold on to their market share?
Yeah, and it's really interesting because like you said, you get shoppers who have high intent. They're on Amazon, they're on Walmart, they're ready to buy, and you have closed loop attribution. And in our economy, you can't say no to that as a marketer, as much as you might want to. And as much as some marketers hate Amazon, it's just too tempting. So, but what we have seen, and one of their limitations, all retail media, is the scale. Right? They don't have the same scale maybe as Google or as a Meta or something like that, especially if you look at the smaller market or the smaller retail media players in the space. So they're really thinking about using some of like the Googles and the Metas and the Pinterests for incremental scale. And frankly, Meta needs those dollars, right?
Yep.
So that's why you're seeing Meta partnering with, I believe it's Dollar General and Walgreens, they just announced, and then Pinterest partnering with Amazon, right? Because it's just going to add more ad distribution for a Pinterest or for a Meta. It's going to be another place, another way somebody can advertise, easier, more seamless checkout for their consumers. So it's sort of like a win-win. But at the same time, retail media is stealing, kind of eating their lunch. So it's going to be an interesting relationship to continue to watch.
Yeah, we're still at the very beginning of this growth curve. Retail media, to me, feels much like social media marketing did in like 2016, 2015. So there's going to be a lot more to come there. Let's put a pin on that point for now, because we'll revisit this in future 10-minute trends. And we'll move on to another topic, and that is AI. So everyone's talking about AI, new AI tools. Of course, mostly the conversation is around generative AI tools like ChatGPT. And look, AI and machine learning and tools that are backed by huge data sets are nothing new in marketing and advertising, but there's a new kind of shine and attention to them right now. What are you seeing that's really catching your attention in terms of something that is like specific for marketing and advertising?
So I think platforms are approaching AI in two ways. One is the consumer facing, right? You have Snapchat with My AI. Google recently released, or they're about to release their new update search generative experiences. If you're not familiar with that, shoot us a note. We'll send you a whole kind of white paper, one sheet on it. And that's the consumer facing part. But then the other part of what the platforms are doing is they're really focusing on AI for advertisers, right? And how do you enable ease for advertisers? Because they still need to make money and they still need ad dollars. And so they're really thinking about how can we use AI to let advertisers advertise a little bit more easily, spend a little bit more money, et cetera. So Amazon just announced recently they're going to be using AI in a lot of allowing advertisers to use their AI for photos and images for advertising campaigns. Google just recently released that they're going to integrate Bard within their PMax program, which will allow them to essentially allow more personalization within PMax. And every platform feels like they are enabling AI for advertisers, which is really amazing. But at the same time, I feel like you need to be more cautious, right? And I think you have really good thoughts on that, because I love Google, right? If anybody from Google's watching, I love you. But we always say, a client will say, well, Google told us to do that. I was like, oh, weird. Did they say that because they want you to spend more money? Right. Is it really what's best for you? So I think that is the fine line we're walking right now with the use of the AI in some of these ad products. Yeah. So really figuring out what's best for the client, what's best for the brand versus what's best for the platform.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel that long ago where we were running our campaigns in Facebook or Google or whatever, and we were inputting all of these different hyper targeting parameters and dissecting everything, so meticulously, and doing all of this like hyper testing and all that. We were really, really hands on. And over the last however many years, with the improvements in their algorithm, they're trying to kind of take our hands-on approach off. And in some cases that works. But, I think we can't necessarily trust that the algorithms, the new, AI spin that they're putting on things are really going to drive the best results for us. So there needs to be close attention paid.
Yeah, and especially when a lot of the AI pushes are around personalization and creative to things that if you get wrong, it can go really wrong.
Yeah.
Just, approach it with caution.
I'll plug my own article really quickly. So I wrote an article this week on using AI tools in brand strategy. And I'll link it somewhere connected to this video. But quickly, my main takeaway is, we're starting to see a lot of content and creative out there, particularly leveraged by brands, that is starting to look and feel the exact same. And you can just tell that it was created like 90% with some sort of like AI generation tool. And brands are starting to all look and sound the same. And I would just caution to like all marketers out there, like use these as tools. They're not, don't let them replace you, because what you're going to get is not very good. So, and
it'll get better, but it's still learning. You still need people. And I think that's the takeaway, right? Like you need people behind all of these things. You can't just, even we were a terrible marketing joke about like letting PMax run absolutely everything. Like you can't do that. That's just a recipe for failure, right? So I think that's a good takeaway.
We will definitely come back to this. I'm sure we'll talk about AI.
There's gonna be like a million more AI. Next month we'll have a couple new AI things, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. So quickly, let's just go around the table. What are some kind of new launches in our space that people should be looking out for?
Yeah, so some fun new like product launches or new platform launches, new testing opportunities for brands. I'm more tactical, but I still really love talking about it. So one is Snapchat. I really like Snapchat. I have like a soft spot in my heart.
It's just sticking around, yeah.
I know. And like the interesting thing about Snapchat, like their Q1 results were in, ad spend was down, but their daily active users were up 15%. People are spending time on Snapchat, right? And there's a lot of different things. They're really engaged. You do have the My AI thing that they launched for Snapchat Plus members.
It's just fun.
Yeah, exactly. So people are spending time there, but they just can't figure out their like ad product quite right. Yeah. So I'm really excited about a couple of new launches that they have released. First one is called First Story, where you can essentially buy the first story in between your friends, or the first ad in between your friends' stories. Massive reach, 50 million possible daily impressions, something insane. So really great for big launches, promotions, things of that nature. Right. Not right for everybody, but I thought it's a really cool way to scale on Snapchat. You have their Ads in Spotlight, which is their TikTok competitor. If you're a brand running TikTok or Reels or YouTube Shorts, this is a no-brainer to test into. And then the third one, which I'm really excited about, is promoted links within My AI. So My AI is their AI friend tool. You can ask it to do certain things for you. There's not a lot of data about what people are asking it for yet, but if you said, hey, give me an itinerary for a trip to Greece, you can now buy is contextually relevant text links next to that My AI, that query. So intent-driven text links, search-based.
That's cool.
Hello, it will probably work. So, hey, plan my trip to Greece. Here's something to book. Here are hotels, right? It'll give you some of those more direct response kind of capabilities, which I'm really excited about. The second thing is TikTok Shop. So they started recently giving some beta access to certain shops, which is really, really exciting in the connected commerce space. But the other piece of this is that apparently it was supposed to launch much sooner. They pushed it back to fall because a lot of merchants are just a little bit nervous about what's going to happen with TikTok, a possible TikTok ban.
Right, a lot of uncertainty there.
Tons of uncertainty. But the fact of the matter is something like 80% of people on TikTok say that they're influenced by TikTok to purchase. And 60% of consumers say they want to buy where they discover a product. we are getting away from the place where we drive people to our .com. We drive people to Amazon, right? People want to convert where they are. They want to be native in an environment, and TikTok Shop could offer them that, right?
And there's this whole new generation of brands that are just like, we're a TikTok product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be massive. I agree, brands probably, it is a big lift. It's a big undertaking. You shouldn't start it until you know the fate of TikTok and what's going to happen, but keep an eye on it. Even Reddit is launching a social commerce initiative. So I think we're going to see more and more of this. I'm really excited. And then the third thing is Amazon. So maybe a little bit more techy, but they introduced some new ML kind of updates to their DSP. So essentially just better allowing advertisers the option to target without the use of cookies. I'm a really big fan of the Amazon DSP. I have been for a really long time. I think it is a really solid product.
For all of the reasons we were talking about earlier, and just being close to the intent and having all of the purchase data available.
Exactly. Yeah. But then this new sort of like update essentially puts it on par with the Trade Desk and DV360, really, really major DSPs players in the space. Yep. And so you will be hearing a lot more from Amazon about their DSP. You should be thinking about the Amazon DSP. You should be testing into it. If you don't know some of the cookieless options, talk to us, talk to your agency, talk to Amazon. But those are the fun launches I was tracking. And I'm sure there's a bazillion more things, but we don't really have all that much time unless you'd like to.
Yeah, we'll come back to those every single month.
Yes.
We'll do like the quick round to wrap things up. Megan, thank you for the insight as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to 10-Minute Trends. And we will see you next month. Thank you.
Bye, guys.